Okay, so the next topic that we are going to be talking about is strings. So basically we have understood the concept of characters, right? So if I just try to say that I have to create a character, how will I do it? I can simply create a char, and then I can just maybe create a variable to store the char. So let's say I create a char value, and then I can add some value in this. Let's say I added a. Now this a is going to be stored, is going to be accessed in this char value. I can print this out, I can do anything with it, and this is taking 1 byte of space in the memory. So strings are basically the combination of characters, like a lot of characters which are we put together, that is basically form a string. Now in C++ we can create strings majorly with two types. First type would be that we have already seen in C. So in C we are having this way of creating strings in which we basically create character arrays, and the character arrays put together basically gives us a string, right? So those strings are known as C style strings. So first of all, let us try to see how can we create a C style string. So for that, what I can do is I can create a character array. Let's call it str, and this will be an array, and I can give some value in this. Let's say I want to give hello. So in this way I can create a string. Now this is basically how we used to do it in C, and this can also be done in another way. So if I just say I have char str, let's call it 1, and this is an array, and I can also put values like this, h e l l o. So this is also the other way we can create a character array in C++. And when you do something like this, or even if you do something like this, what happens is at the end there will be another character that will be added automatically, which will be this null character over here. Okay, so you don't have to do it by default. Like it is, you have to don't do it, don't have to write it, it is gonna happen by default. Okay, so a null character will be added at the string. It is gonna tell that okay, at this place my string actually ends, right? So this is something how the string or the character array will be represented in the memory with a character with a null character at the end. If I just try to write a program, and let's try to maybe create something out of this, and maybe I can say that okay, I'm just gonna comment this out first, and let's say I have a char, let's call it str, and let's create a size 100. Okay, I'm just gonna take some user input. I'm gonna say enter a string like this, and then I'm going to take user input in str. Okay, and after that I'm just going to see out you entered str. It is just going to display that. Okay, so if I try to run it now, and let's say I enter hello, so it is going to give me hello. Okay, but let's say if I try to do something else, maybe I say hello space world. Now in this case also I'm just getting hello. So what happens is, as soon as I press a space bar, enter or tab, anything, it basically assumes that my string has ended over here. So it is not going to include this cin, is not going to include anything which is after the null character. Okay, so there is actually another way we can do it. We can basically use a method over here, cin.get. With this method we can take the input. So I'm just going to enter over here str, and it is still giving error. It is asking for, okay, I need to give the size also, so I'm going to say 100. Now if I run it again, it is gonna give, I'm going to say hello world, just a second, hello world. Now it is giving me hello world. Okay, so basically this is how we can manipulate strings using the C style strings, which are basically the type we used to do it in C. But in C++, we can have another way also, that is basically known as the string library that we have, right? So what you can also do in C++ is you can directly have this string, you can create an object of string, and you can just simply, let's say str. Now we have created a string. Okay, you can try to populate the values over here also, like this. Okay, so it will be added. But let's try to do the user input again over here. So let's say I'm gonna say enter a string, then I'm gonna take user input in str, and then I'm gonna see out you entered str. Okay, so I'm gonna play it now. Let me just try to do again hello world. Again it is giving me the same thing. Okay, so here also I, instead of using cin, what I can do is I can use another method known as getLine, and inside this I can pass cin and str, and if I try to run it again, I'm gonna say hello world. Now it is working fine. Okay, so basically these are the few things that we can we can create a string. Now this string gives us a lot of methods, inbuilt methods that we can use, right? So we're gonna try to play around those methods and see what are the what things we get in this str. Like we're gonna explore few of the methods, and then later on you guys can just go and explore a bit more about strings using the header files. But yes, we will be doing some questions which will not use the string library. It will not use inbuilt methods, right? So we're gonna do that later on, but first let's try to explore that what all the string libraries provide to us. So now let's have a look at few of the methods that we can use, which are given to us inbuilt in the string class. Okay. So let's say I have been given a string over here. Let me just create a string str, and I populated with some values. So let's say it is saying hello world, and maybe I'll say world is beautiful. So let's say this is the string that is given to me. So what I have to do is, let's say maybe first of all, let me just see out str. So this is gonna get printed on the console, right? Now let's say I want to find the occurrence of some word. Let's say I want to find when the world is when the world is occurring in the string, right? So what I can do is I can basically use a method known as find for that. So if I say str.find, so this can help me to locate some part of string, so like a substring, right? So let's say I want to search for world. Okay, and let me just see out it, and I'll put an endl over here. So if I try to run it now, let's see what is the output. So the output is saying 6, right? So what does that mean is, so the first character that I have in the string h is at 0th index, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. The space character is the 5th character over here. At the 6th position I have this world starting at. Okay, but let's see, there are two world over here, right? If I like, let me just also make it capital, the world in caps, right? So if I run it again, I'm getting 6 again. So that means the find is basically returning me the first occurrence of the world in the string. If I want to find the last occurrence, so what I can do is, so this is basically giving me the first occurrence. Okay, let's say if I want to find the last occurrence of the world at what in the string, when is the world coming, like appearing at the last, right? So I can basically say str dot, I can call r find, right? And let's say I want to find world. So if I try to run it again over here, so it is gonna give me 13. So 13 is the index from which the last world is starting from. So like this method we can use, and there are some other methods you can give it a try. So I'm just gonna give you some examples over here, but yes, you can just go and explore, and maybe just find what else is there to explore in the string library. Okay, so let's say I am having this string over here, and let me just comment. Let's say I want to append something in the string, right? So I have this string hello world, world is beautiful. maybe I can say str dot append. So this is basically gonna append something in the existing string. So I'm gonna append over here something like comma, this is added, something like this. Okay, now if I try to see out the str again, so the output would be, so the first string is coming, world is beautiful, second is coming, world is beautiful, this is added, so something has been added in the current string. So basically these are like the methods that are given to us, right? Now there are a lot of methods that you can explore over here, right? And what are we gonna do is we're gonna be just picking up some question. We're gonna be trying to solve that without using the library functions, right? Because we are dealing with the data structure algorithm, so we're gonna see how we can do that in the strings, right? So let's do those questions. So let's start with the question related to the character arrays and the strings over here. So basically we are given with a character array, and let's say there is some sentence or anything like written over here, right? What we have to do is we have to find the length of the given character array, right? So a very simple question over here. Basically, let's say the input that is given to us is hello. So how will I find the length of this hello over here? So I have already told you that whenever we are having this character array over here, what happens is at the end, by like automatically a null character will be inserted like this, right? So if I have to calculate the length of this hello over here, what I can do is I can just keep iterating over this entire, or I can keep iterating over character by character until I reach a character which is the null character, right? So the null character will be the indicator for me that I have reached the end. So this is basically my indication. I have to iterate till this character over here, this one, right? So this is like the indication for me that I have reached the end of the sentence, and that will be the length of my string. Okay, so let's try to write the code for this now. So over here, let us create a new method. So this method is basically be giving me the length. So I'm just going to say int get length, and I'm going to pass a character array as a parameter over here. So I'm going to say char, and whatever the array that I want to pass, that will be over here, right? So what I need to do is I just need to iterate, and I just need to keep a count. So I'm going to create a variable over here, count, and initially it will be 0. Then I'm just going to run a loop over here. I will be starting from 0, and I will go until I don't find the ith character of the str to be equal to the null character, right? So basically the end condition would be str of I is not equals to the null character. So the null character is basically represented this way. Until I have not found this character, I will keep iterating over here, and then I'm just gonna do I plus plus. And what I'll do is I'll just do a count plus plus when I'm iterating, right? And once I have finished the iteration, I'm just gonna return count at the end. So this is gonna give me the output. So let's say I have a char str of size, let's say 100, and it is having some string inside, let's say hello only. I need to print the length of hello. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say get, so I'm going to see out get length of what? The str. Okay, so if I run the code and let's see the output, so the output is 5. So that is my answer over here. Okay, so the next question comes up in which we have to basically reverse a given word, right? So let's say there is a word given to us. Let's take an example over here, hello. We need to reverse it, right? So the output of this should be something like this. It should be O, L, L, E, and H. So if I just look at the string over the string, or the whatever the word that is given over here, we basically have to just reverse it. Reverse it means that the first word will go at the end and the last word will come at the front, something like this, right? So in order to solve this question, we can take the approach of two pointers, right? So let's take an example over here. Let's say I have a word hello over here. Now in this word hello, I can take two pointers. I can say there will be a starting pointer, S will be here and end will be here, right? I can basically say that S and E will swap. So when I swap E and S, O will come here and H will go here, right? And then what I'll do is I will do S plus plus and E minus minus, right? Then again I'll do swap of S and E. So L will come here and E will go here. Then again I will do S plus plus and E minus minus. And now both of them are at the same point. I'm going to swap L with L. It is just going to remain L. So basically when I am swapping S and E, till when I am swapping S and E, when S is less than equals to E. Until S is less than equals to E, I will keep swapping S and E. Let's take another example over here. Let's say some even number word. So let's take an example of home. So there is a word, let's say home, right? So if I take this example and there will be a starting pointer over here, ending pointer over here, I'm going to swap S and E. So E will come here and H will come here. Then I'm going to do S plus plus and E minus minus. Then M is going to swap with O like this, right? Now S, I cannot increment S because S is less than equals to E over here. This is true. So basically we just have to understand that whenever we are incrementing S, we need to make sure that S doesn't cross E. So in that way we will be able to reverse a given word, right? So now let's try to write the code for this. I'm just gonna go back in my coding file. Now let's try to write the code for this over here. Basically very simple. I'm just going to create a method again over here. So let's say the method name is so this is going to give me a reversal of a word. So I'm going to say reverse, and this is going to take a character array. So I'm just going to say str like this. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to create two pointers. I need to basically place them at the 0th index and the last of the given word, right? So maybe I also need a length also, right? So I'm going to take int size. Okay, so whatever the size is, I'm going to take that also. So I will say that there will be a pointer known as S that will be initially at 0, and there will be a E pointer that or variable that will be at the last, so size -1. Okay, now what I need to do is I just need to say until the S is less than equals to E, until this condition is true, I will keep iterating I will keep iterating on the given word, and I'm just gonna keep swapping it, right? So basically if I just go back over here, what I'm gonna do over here is I'm saying that my start and end pointer should not cross each other, so I need to make sure that these doesn't cross. And then what I'll do is I will basically say this pointer, this and this is gonna swap, right? These two are gonna swap with each other. So very simple. I'm just gonna say over here, while S is less than equals to E, right? I'm gonna basically be saying that swap. I need to swap what? I need to swap the str S with str E. That's all, right? And cannot determine the instance of swap is intended. Okay, I guess the brackets are wrong. Then what I'll do is I will do S plus plus and E minus minus. Okay, so this is how I will be able to reverse the given any, let's say I want to reverse hello over here. So I'm just gonna say over here I will be reversing the str, right? So I'm gonna say reverse str, size is 5, and I'm gonna see out str again, reverse matches the argument list. Okay. Yeah, so basically I have taken an int. Basically I have to take a char over here, right? So if I run it now, let's see the output. So we have basically got the output over here. String over here, let's say I'm just going to take an example. Let's say I'm given a string over here, which is noon. Okay, so I have to tell if the given string over here, is this a palindrome or not? Okay, is this given string is a palindrome? Okay, now what is a palindrome? Basically, if a string that is given to us, let's say noon, and if I reverse this, so the reverse of this string would be noon. So if I get the reverse of a given word, if that is equal to the original word, then that is a palindrome. So this word is all when given like this, it is noon. If I reverse this, it is again noon. Let's say if there is a example, let's say there is a word, let's say home, right? If I reverse this, so it will be EMOH. Now the reverse of this word is not same, so this is not a palindrome, right? Let's take an example. Let's say there is a word given to us, A B C D C B A. Okay, now if I reverse this, what do we get? We get A B C D C B A. So we can see that the reverse word of this original word is same as the original. So this is a palindrome. So yes, this is a palindrome, right? So now we have to figure out a way in which we can determine if the given word is a palindrome or not, right? So let's say I'm given a word over here. I'm going to take an example of noon only. So noon, N-O-O-N. Okay. So how can I basically determine if this word is a palindrome or not? So what this palindrome says is that if I take the first word of the given word, and that word should be equal to this word, right? That is when we if I reverse this n with this n, both of them will be same. Though this and this should be same. Let's say I have another string. Let's say A B C B A, like this. So what if I want to check if this is a palindrome, or what I'll say is that the first word and the last word should be same, right? Then if this is same, I will go forward, I will come backward. This and this should be same, then I'll come forward and come backward. This is just a single word, it will be is equal to this only, right? So what I'm basically applying the logic over here is that the first word and the last word should be same, then only I can get that this is a palindrome or not. Then only if I reverse it, A will come here, B will come here, C will come here, this B will come here, and this A will come here. This is gonna form the answer will be exactly equal to the original one. So that is how I can basically determine if the reversal of this given string is equal to the original string, then that's a palindrome. How will I check the reversal? If the first word is equal to the last word is equal to the first word, if the first word is equal to the last word, if the second word is equal to the second last word, if the second last word is equal to the second word, that is how we're gonna do it now. So what approach can I follow over here is very simple. Again, I'm just gonna take 2 pointers over here, right? So let's say there is one pointer over here, let's call it start pointer, and then there is an end pointer. I can keep checking if the start pointer is equals to the end pointer at any point. Let's say the example of home, HOME. So this is my start, this is my end. I see that start is not equals to end. I will just break out of the loop, because if one word is not same, then I do not care about the other words. I'll just break out. Okay, so this is how we gonna be approaching the problem over here. I'm just gonna be saying there will be a start pointer, there will be end pointer. I'm just gonna compare both of them, and if I found at any point that S is not equal to E, I'm gonna break out. I'm gonna return false. I'm gonna return false. If I have iterated the entire loop and I have not found anything which is breaking me out of the loop, then that means that is a palindrome, right? So if I have iterated, so how can I iterate? I will have a condition while s is less than equals to e. I will keep iterating until start is less than equals to e, right? And if I break out of this loop and I do iteration on the entire loop and I have successfully completed this iteration, then that means everything is equal, the first and the last is equal, then I can just return a true over here, right? So let's try to write the logic for this now. So I'm just going to go over here and let's write a method over here. So this is going to return me true or false. So I'm going to write bool is palindrome. Okay. And maybe I just need to check over a character array, right? So I'm going to say str, and I also need size over here. So I'm going to pass size also. Then what I need to do is I need to create a start pointer which will be at the beginning, and then I'm going to need to point a variable which is e that will be at the size -1. Then I will run loop until s is less than equals to e, and I'm just gonna say over here that at any point if I say if the first element of the array, so str s is not equals to str e, at any point if I found this, I'm just gonna return false. Simple. Okay, I'm not gonna check, I'm just gonna return false. If I don't find this condition, then what I'll do, else what I'll do, I will just keep incrementing my s plus plus and e minus minus. I don't need to worry about, I'll just keep incrementing if I don't found this condition. When I'm out of the loop, I'm gonna return true. We have successfully found if the given string is palindrome or not, right? So let's try to check this out also. So I'm just gonna call the function over here is palindrome, and I'm gonna pass my str, I'm gonna pass my size over here, and let's try to run. So it is gonna give me 0, so 0 is false. Okay, and if I try to make my string as noon, and if I run it, so it is giving me, okay, so there is some issue, it is again giving me 0. Let me check what is the issue over here. Okay, so I guess there is some issue with the calculation of the length of the string over here, right? So there is a better way to do this. Instead of giving the size a constant size over here, what we can do is we can just calculate the size dynamically. Okay, so what I can do is I can basically say the size would be, so there is a function over here strlen. Okay, so we can use this and we can calculate the size of str over here. So whatever the size is will be calculated automatically by this. And now if I go to this is palindrome, I don't have to give the value of size over here. And if I now run it, so it is giving me false in case of noons, and if I make it noon and if I run it again, it is gonna give me true. Okay, so this is a palindrome. Just to make a representation a bit better, we can also do something like this. If is palindrome, then we can just see out is palindrome, and we can use else over here, else see out not a palindrome, like this. Okay, so if I run it now, it is gonna give me is palindrome, and if I change the string over here and I run it again, it is gonna give me not a palindrome, right? So in this way we are able to determine if the given string is a palindrome or not.